we'll take our daughter and just be gone. Their words pleased Hamor and Hamor's son Shechem. We'll see in a minute why. Well, they're willing to undergo this operation. Must have been very painful in those days, no anesthesia. But they're willing to do it, and we'll see why. And the young men did not delay to do the thing because he had delighted in Jacob's daughter. Now he was the most honored of all his family. So Hamor and his son Shechem came to the gate of the city and spoke to the men of their city, saying, "These men are friendly with us. Let them dwell in the land and trade in it, for behold, the land is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters in marriage, and let us give them our daughters. Only on this condition will the men agree to dwell with us, to become one people, that every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised." And now we see why he is willing to do this. Greed. Will not their cattle, their property, and all their beasts be ours? Remember, Jacob is a very rich man in sheep and cattle. And this guy wants it. So he's willing to do all this, allegedly because his son is in love with Dinah, who he raped her first, but really to grab Jacob's property. Only let us agree with them, and they will dwell with us. And all who went out of the gate of his city hearkened to Hamor and his son Shechem, and every male was circumcised, all who went out of the gate of his city. 3 days after the mass operation, when they were sore, obviously, healing, 2 of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, because that's why they're doing this, they're about to commit mass murder, took their swords and came upon the city unawares and killed the entire male population. So that's why I say there's no great spiritual lesson here. It's just an old legend that is incorporated here. And this is the way people are in the Middle East today. I was in Israel. The Jews aren't like that, but the Arabs are today. But in those days, the Jews were too. I was in Israel, sitting on the patio of my aunt and uncle, having an open-air meal. And across the field, there was 2 Arab basketball teams having a game. And in the middle, we started the shouting and the screaming, and the police arrived. One had stabbed another and killed him in the middle of the game. Why? Because he felt insulted his sister. So it goes on today, the same kind of honor killing. All right, so they kill the men. Skip to verse 30. Chapter 34, verse 30. Jacob said to Simeon and Levi when he found out that they had killed all those guys, "You have brought trouble on me. We're a minority in this country. Are you crazy to do such a thing? You've made me odious to the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites and the Perizzites. My numbers are few, and if they gather themselves together against us, and attack us, we'll be destroyed. The whole household, our whole tribe, our whole family." But they said, "And should he treat our sister as a whore?" Well, there is no answer. That's how the boys saw it. The next of kin has got to take vengeance for if someone dishonors a woman in your family. As I said, they do it all the time. Well, now, in the Arab world, they kill the girl. Here, at least, it's amazing. Here, they understood thousands of years ago it's not her fault. But today, the father would murder his daughter, as well as the man who raped her. As if it's her fault. Yes, they were.
So, I mean, it's not just...
And Jacob says, "How could you have done such a thing?" They're 2 brothers. Is there any excuse for what they did? In their way of looking at things, their sister has been defiled, and it's a death penalty. Is there a death penalty for rape? Well, then they should have killed the one guy. Not everyone in the town, but that's the way people thought. They thought collectively. There's no way to defend it. It's just a story that is told. Notice God isn't mentioned. Nobody says he approves such conduct. And Jacob doesn't approve it. He's the one who's known God. And he said, "You shouldn't do this." But they do it. So it gives us, it's valuable because it gives us an insight into the customs of the time, customs which among the Muslims are still there. We have trouble understanding them. It's certainly not our way, but that's the way people thought. Yes?
In verse 28, he said they took the sheep and their oxen.
Oh yes, once they killed them, they took all their property.
And
Makes it profitable.
all of the rest of the brothers came in that evening and spoiled it.
Apparently. Does it say the rest? The sons of Jacob, yes.
Yeah.
They say, well, they're dead anyway. You might as well keep the sheep. That's right. It's a terrible story. There are such stories in the Bible, which we don't, God doesn't comment on them. They're just very brutal to our point of view, and that's the way things were then. And in much of the world, they still are. I mean, look at what goes on there's so many continents. America is a blessed place. And I mean, we have a monster like the one who killed the people at Mother Emanuel, and everyone's horrified. In other countries, in Uganda, was it? Is that where you had yes, the Tutsis murdered, 1 million Tutsis killed by the other tribe. There's no sense of morality. None. All right, we'll pick it up with chapter 35 next time. Yes?